Before we start our next session, we have an announcement to make. Bombay Chamber of Commerce and Industry is pleased to announce its 12th Biennial International Conference on Indian Ports, Shipping and Logistics on 25th of February 2025 at St. Regis Hotel, Mumbai. The theme of the conference is Sustainable Logistics for the Viksit Bharat. This conference is officially supported by the Ministry of Ports, Shipping and Waterways, Indian Ports Association, IWAI, and among others. For more details, we would like to request and we would like to get in touch with Ms. Meenal Khadilkar, who looks after the Shipping Committee at Bombay Chamber. We now proceed with the next session for today. Our presentations are on the topic Bilateral Trade Opportunities for MSMEs. For that, I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. Adolfo Estrada, Consul General, Consulate of Mexico in Mumbai. Over to you, sir.
All right. Hello. Well, good afternoon. Thank you very much for having us. It is a great pleasure for me, the Consulate General of Mexico in Mumbai, to be in this gathering and this summit, and to talk to you very briefly about investment opportunities for MSMEs in Mexico. I will try to be super brief so that we have, time for everybody. So very briefly, you will ask what are the Mexico advantages? What are the advantages for SMEs in Indian companies in Mexico? So I will just point out very briefly five features that might be interested of you. So our country is a fairly large country, not as large as India, of course. No other country is. It's very, very hard to compete with the India dimensions. But it's 120+ million people country. So we are number 11 in terms of population. It is a very stable country with an excellent location. So we have a location right between North and South America, and with access to global markets, of course, Latin America, free trade with Europe, and especially, of course, with the North America free trade area, the US and Canada. That is one of the main selling points for investment in Mexico, right? We have a very capable workforce, young, educated, that is ready to work in competitive sectors, in any kind of sector, and world-class infrastructure. So there you have some basic data of our country, the 12th largest economy, 9th largest recipient of foreign direct investment, and one of the top exporters and importers of goods around the world. By far the largest exporter in Latin America. We export more goods than all the other Latin American countries put together, including the biggest economies like Argentina, Colombia, and Brazil. So there you have our network of free trade agreements. So with different Latin American countries, with Central America, we have a free trade agreement with the European Union and EFTA, and of course TPP, that links us with the major Asian economies. But of course, the largest by far is the North American Free Trade Agreement with the US and Canada. There you have some figures related specifically to India. So we have 3 billion cumulative investments of Indian companies, especially in the IT sector. So you have the biggest names, TCS, Infosys, but also we have increasingly a participation of other type of companies like Mahindra, Bajaj, JK Tire in the auto sector. Mexico also is a big, an increasingly important investor. In relative terms, it's fairly small, but it has a positive outlook. So we have companies like Cinépolis, Nemak, which is an auto parts company, Metals as well, as the bakery Bimbo and Kitsania. Bilateral trade, a little less than 8 billion. It is relatively small for the size of both economies, but it's increasing and it has a very positive outlook. So now we get to the main point, the main message that I want to share with you, and that is that Mexico and India, we are natural partners. We are countries that are an excellent fit for each other, and that is because Mexico and India, we share we have a lot of commonalities. We share a lot of features in terms of socioeconomic composition. We are, societies that have, large pools of people, and we are in a stage of development that we are in need of some specific solutions for less advantaged populations. And in that area, India is really a great, as I say, a great fit and a great partner for us. So some companies are Indian companies are developing really interesting solutions to, let's say, have drinking water. Drinking water solutions for small cities, or to bring health solutions for rural women, or to devise financial solutions with UPI to give to bring insurance or credit or what have you for people that only a few years back wouldn't even have a bank account. And that is something that maybe it's not so appealing for some more developed markets like the US or Europe, but it's definitely an interesting business proposition for countries in Latin America, in Africa, in Asia, and certainly Mexico. So there you have it. Like a UPI, you see there's a traditional scene in a street in India or in Mexico. You will recognize that, and here in India, it doesn't cease to amaze me. The power of UPI and how you can buy anything, and I mean absolutely anything. You can have a 20 rupee transaction, you buy a coconut, you can buy a chai in the street, and that is really empowering for a lot of people. And maybe Indians are used to this, but it is really something that is great for business, but also for people. And that's something that we want to talk about with Indian companies, and to show them that we have a lot of things in common and a lot of things to offer for our market, for your products. And same goes for the agro sector, right? So there you have it. The great opportunities for Indian companies in many sectors, in the financial sector, tourism, entertainment, food industry, and jewelry as well. So how can MSMEs can be a part of, can play a part in Mexico, in the Mexico market? Well, not only in terms of exporting goods, but really to try to come to Mexico and integrate in the Mexican supply chains, which means integrating in the North America production chains that are enormous. So once you are a player in the auto sector in Mexico, then you can export and be integrated into these very large and very complex production chains that basically give you access to the largest trading bloc in the world. Those are, we didn't have time to put the tax on those sectors, but you can recognize them. So it's the largest may be the auto sector, and specifically we know the new trends in the auto sector, electromobility. But also we have aerospace, we have the chemical, pharmaceutical, which is very big in India, entertainment, the garments industry, and also transportation. So very briefly, in Mexico, you will also have opportunities for investment, not only in these industrial supply chains, but also in the government sector, in infrastructure. There are a lot of infrastructure projects going on that give a huge amount, a very interesting opportunity for investment. And I will just point out a couple of them. Right now we are promoting what we know as the Tehuantepec Interoceanic Corridor. So you may don't be familiar with this, but this a part, an isthmus in central Mexico that is only a little bit, longer than the isthmus of the Panama. So what we are constructing, and it's already there, is a dry canal that connects the Pacific and the Atlantic. And it is a very interesting and appealing solution for transportation of goods between both the Pacific and the Atlantic, given that the Panama Canal is currently basically is operating at capacity. So we are promoting this dry canal with Indian companies of all sizes, because there are a lot of investment opportunities in the field. Not only the logistics themselves of transporting goods, but also in industrial parks and operations of ports, etc. We are also promoting the expansion of Port of Manzanillo, which is the largest port in Mexico, and it's undergoing a huge expansion operation that will take Manzanillo Port to basically to the same level of capacity as Los Angeles Long Beach Port. And also there are a lot of investment opportunities in this field. And finally, well, we just have a new administration, a new government headed by President Claudia Sheinbaum, our newly elected president, the first female president of Mexico, and we are very proud of that. And she just launched this new plan called Plan Mexico, which brings a very interesting package of new fiscal incentives for investment in Mexico, and the development of new industrial parks, 100 new industrial parks, and the development of new wider incentives to attract companies, including Indian companies, to set up shop in Mexico and be part of this, what I just mentioned, the development of the supply chains of key sectors in Mexico for production in our national market, but also in the North American market. So that's it. thank you very much. And well, we are, more than happy to receive you in the Consulate General of Mexico. We're located in Nariman Point. And if you have any specific investment interest, commercial interest, we'll be more than happy to have a one-on-one talk with you at our consulate. And well, then again, thank you very much for having me. And well, good afternoon. Oh, yes. No.
Yeah. We'll be having some question and answers. Only 2 or 3. Request everyone.
Any question or request, please? Well, yes. I mean, you're absolutely right. Mexican and Indian foods are very, are in a way similar. We are two of the most disruptive cuisines in the world, and they illustrate my point very clearly that we are societies that we can relate in a lot of levels, and Mexican Mexican cuisine is increasingly popular in Mexico, and that gives me the opportunity to say also just a quick word about tourism. So tourism is increasingly popular. We have a lot of requests for weddings in Cancun, in the Yucatan Peninsula. We have a relatively small number of Indian tourists, but that relatively small number is 150,000 Indian tourists last year. But of course, we think that can really grow given the size of Mexico. We received last year 30+ million visitors, and of course the size of India. I always talk about the huge potential of India in every sense, given the size and importance of this country.
Hello, go ahead. Yeah, thank you, sir. Actually, I am Dr. Vinay from Austic Pharma Private Limited. This is a startup company with IIT Bombay. So 7 years back, I visited Mexico in 2017 for a collaboration on medical devices in National Institute of Medical Sciences and Nutrition in Talapan. And so just my question is that what are the opportunities for exploring a nutraceutical market in Mexico?
The market in?
Nutraceuticals. Dietary supplements, health and diet, food supplements.
Well, I can tell you that we are really, in general, I will talk about, medical and pharmaceutical field. It is one of our focus areas because, as you know, India is the pharmacy of the world, and we are really interested in attracting both investment but also importation of strategic products. So I can tell you that from supplements to treatments for cancer, we are very much interested, and of course we would love to talk to you to see specific details of your operations. But so the answer is in general, pharmaceuticals are one of our key focus areas.
Thank you, sir.
So rather than a question, I would just like to reiterate whatever you said, because my company has very close association with Mexico. We are into water purification chemical suppliers to one company. Then we are also very closely working in agricultural input products. And I have always found that Mexico has a lot of similarity in terms of culture, color of our national flags, and
yes,
and the food habits.
Yes.
And the culture. I mean, every time I have traveled to Monterrey, I have found that probably I am near Noida or Okla industrial area. Everything is similar. And I would really appeal all of you to sincerely look at investment, bilateral trade opportunities either ways, and I'm sure you will not repent. I'm one of the very, very happy investors in the Mexican market. Thank you.
I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello. I now request Mr. Rajan Raje, Chairperson, Bombay Chamber MSME Forum and CEO, Nichem Solution, to present a memento to His Excellency Mr. Adolfo Garcia Estrada, Consul General, Consulate of Mexico in Mumbai, as a token of appreciation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. For the next session, I would like to call Ms. Eva Nilsson, Deputy Consul General, Consulate General of Finland in Mumbai, to please present on the dais.
Good afternoon, everyone. Very nice to be here. Like I said, now I will take you to a completely different side of the world from Mexico to Finland. I'm the Deputy Consul General of the Consulate here in Mumbai. And first, before I'll take you a bit more to Finland, I'll say a few words about the Consulate itself. We are, for a long time, we were the youngest diplomatic mission here in Mumbai. I think nowadays we're the second youngest. We've been established here for 2 years now. We have our offices in BKC. And even though we are here to look after all Finnish interests in general, our main focus really here is on trade, our commercial relations. Of course, that also includes quite broadly also education, tourism, culture and media relations, but all in all under the trade promotion umbrella. We have had our embassy in Delhi for 75 years. Last year we had a celebratory year, so we've been present in India for a long time already. And we also have Business Finland present here in India, in Delhi, Bangalore, and also we have one colleague here in Mumbai. And I want to raise also Business Finland to your knowledge already here up front, just to say that in business relations and building partnerships with companies, Business Finland is our institution here in India, and we work together closely all the time. A few words then about Finland in general. We are a small country in Northeast Europe. We have a population of a bit more than 5 million, which in Indian terms is quite small. There's a few reference groups that are important to mention. First of all, that we are a so-called Nordic country. So we are very like-minded and historically close to Sweden and Norway and Denmark and Iceland. And that's our, so to say, closest reference group. We have similar legal systems and similar cultures and climates with this group of countries. And we also have a common Nordic market. Our second important reference group is the European Union. We have been members of the European Union this year, actually 30 years, since 1995. And this means also that we have given some of our national decision-making powers to the European Union, and especially what comes to trade, the European Commission negotiates the free trade agreements on all the member states' behalf. So also the EU-India free trade agreement is negotiated by the European Commission and not by us member states directly. And the free trade agreement between EU and India is very important for us, and we're hoping despite some sensitivities around it, that it will happen in the coming years. In terms of Finland-India trade relations, or maybe first very briefly about the Finland sort of as an economy. The main economic sector is manufacturing, and our largest industries are electronics, including IT and technology, machinery, vehicles and other metal products. Also second, our forest industry and chemicals. And as natural resources, we have loads of timber and a lot of mineral and freshwater resources, increasingly also mining in the north. The exports and imports between India and Finland are still quite small, but also fortunately growing. They are worth about 3 billion euros a year, around 300 crores. And in 23, sorry, I don't have the latest data, the value of Finland's exports of goods and services to India was slightly under 1.4 billion. And most of Finland's exports to India consist of quite traditional commodities like paper and cardboard, machines, electronics, computers, and also different appliances for handling and recycling of waste is also a big sector. And a big part in our relations are also the Finnish companies that are established in India and manufacturing in India, especially in telecom, energy, construction, some heavy industries, and then some expert services. And then Indian exports to Finland, also growing, fortunately. Actually, between 2019 and 2023, the exports grew with 34%, which is quite good. Still, there is room for growth, especially in the service sector, because the value of service sector export has been quite stagnant throughout all these years. The main sectors are pharmaceuticals, chemicals, and textiles. And of course, then services, like I mentioned, especially IT and digital solutions. In terms of investments, or foreign direct investments, currently they're worth about or Finnish investments to India are worth about 4 billion euros. And then again, Indian investments to Finland are smaller, around 1 billion, but growing also there. One example is, for example, Tech Mahindra that recently set up a Makers Lab, a tech lab in Finland. And then again, one of our biggest investors here is Nokia with 5G, 6G networks. But there's definitely more space for SMSE interaction, and hopefully we would have some increased action also on that side. Last year there was 800 companies, Finnish companies that exported into India, about a bit below 100 Finnish companies based here in India, like subsidiaries, Finnish subsidiaries, and among these also several SMEs, though. Although I said there's a lot of room for growth, we have them here too. What we normally advise for Finnish companies that come to India is that it's important to have a local partner, and I would say the vice versa, that any companies that want to establish themselves in Finland should really seek to have a local partner in order to understand the market and to be successful there. Finland as a business location or a business destination, you might have in mind Lapland and Northern Lights. That's quite popular in India nowadays. Tourism is growing a lot. But in addition to Northern Lights, I could say that Finland is a very stable, clean country with very good governance. we have a very skilled population. Most people speak English. You can, in most companies, English is spoken. So that's one easy factor for establishing companies in Finland. It's also a very peaceful country. Quality of life is good. We have been ranked the world's happiest country 7 years in a row. We have also one of the world's best education sectors, competing with Singapore currently. We have also been ranked the best in the Good Country Index this year. We are in the top 10 on the Global Innovation Index. And in Europe, we are number 1 in the European Index for Digitalization of Economy and Society. And I want to mention a few sectors that are sort of important for us and that has some potential for any companies interested in the Finnish market. I want to start with circular economy. And what I mean with circular economy is an economic model where we involve companies throughout the life cycle of products. So it's not only about recycling, but really about having sustainable and long-living products that are also repairable. Finland has a lot of technical know-how in these circular solutions, and we have been one of the world leaders in getting patents for different circular economy solutions. We also host the State's Innovation Fund hosts the World Circular Economy Forum this year in Brazil, hopefully next year actually in India. At all levels in the society, from startups to government ministries, we are currently working with international partners to test and deploy different circular economy solutions, and we invite everyone to join us to develop those solutions for a more sustainable future. And we also have both public and private venture capitalist funds that are happy to fund good ideas. Also, foreign investors are looking into Finland for inspiring ideas on circular economy startups. So that's one sector I want to mention. Second, digitalization, very broadly. It relates to so many different sectors. Like said, we are ranked highest in Europe in terms of digitalization. And I think that's very much thanks to the history of Nokia and its growth and its size in the country, which has been and is quite small. And Nokia was the global forerunner in digitalization, and this was because in the 1990s already our decision makers enacted some rules to encourage digitalization throughout the society. And also our educational institutions prioritize the skills needed for digitalization. And this has created a broad sector, or a strong sector, a digitalization sector in Finland. Also includes other sectors like cybersecurity, big data, AI, and deep technology in general. Thirdly, I would like to mention clean tech. I think clean thinking somehow runs in our genes. We are one of the greenest countries in the world. For those who have ever landed in Helsinki, especially in summertime, you see only green from the airline window because it's just forest. But 40% of the Finnish energy is produced with renewables currently, more or less, biomass, hydro, wind, and solar. 50% of our energy is recycled and recovered from water and buildings in Helsinki. And we are among the global market leaders in renewable technologies like wind turbine components and solar inverters and bio and waste to energy synergies. So any companies in those sectors, I encourage you to find interesting partnerships with Finnish companies. And then thirdly, bioeconomy. These sectors are all very linked by by bioeconomy, I mean an economy that relies on renewable energies to produce food, energy, products, and services, and decreases our dependence on fossil fuels in general. Our bioeconomy is very much based on our forest industry and the forestry value chain, and from this value chain, we have discovered how wood can replace many wasteful materials based on oil. Also, wood-based materials can be some sustainable materials for textiles. So there's a lot of technology that can also be transformed from wood-based cellulose to different products in different sectors than only wood. So if this is something that interests you, there's several Finnish companies, universities, and other actors that are seeking international partners to create bioeconomy innovations. And then finally, I'll mention health and well-being. You discussed already pharmaceuticals earlier in the Mexican context. What I want to mention in terms of health and well-being is different smart health or health tech solutions. There are much going on in the sort of AI and mobile communications and different business models within health. I'm not a specialist on health, but as much as I understand from it, one of our strengths is that we have had a very safe and big patient data system in Finland, and based on this data, a lot of innovative systems have been, like the development of them has been easier, or the data has allowed different ideas to be turned into concrete solutions. So there's a lot of healthcare institutions and companies that are eager to work with international partners to jointly develop more of these smart health and health tech solutions. So any companies operating there, I'll also encourage you to be in touch. But these are my words, and I welcome you all to explore Finnish partners in the happiest country of the world. And please, if you have any further questions, be in touch with us. We are based in BKC, and like I said, I'm also happy to put you in touch with my colleagues in Business Finland to create more concrete business-to-business relations. Thank you.
Will you be comfortable having Q&A?
Yeah, no problem.
We'll be having a small Q&A session.
Attended the annual day of your Finland also, last month only. My small question is, Finland is considered as having the highest happiness among the world. So what are the main reasons? Is the government subsidy or social scheme, or people are satisfied otherwise? Thank you.
So if I understood your question correctly, is what's behind the happiness? There's a lot of different types of analysis about why, because surprisingly many Finns are surprised about being the happiest country in the world. So it's not maybe something that it's very easily seen, because we are quite calm and peaceful and silent people. But most Finns would say that it's some kind of satisfaction in life that could be described as that happiness. Of course, like I said, it's a very peaceful and calm, very nature-loving country. And then one thing is, of course, that it's a so-called Nordic welfare state. So we have, through our independence time, had a very broad social security net in the country. Inequality is quite low, and everybody is given similar opportunities to strive in life, and equal opportunities to educate themselves. So that's maybe some of the cornerstones behind this victory, 7 years in a row.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that presentation. I would like to request Mr. Raje, Chairperson MSME Forum Bombay Chamber and CEO Nichem Solution to present a memento as a token of appreciation to Ms. Eva Nilsson, Deputy Consul General, Consulate General of Finland in Mumbai. For our next session, I would like to invite Ms. Dina Vice Consul, the Consulate of Egypt in Mumbai. Over to you, ma'am.
First of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dina Albahey. Thank you. I'm the Vice Consul of the Egyptian Consulate here in Mumbai. First of all, I would like to convey my thanks to Bombay Chamber of Commerce and Industry, BCCI, for holding this event. It is indeed a wonderful opportunity for the Egyptian Consulate to attend today's event among these distinguished guests. This conclave actually offers a valuable opportunity to address the huge potentials in both India and Egypt. Such event provides the perfect platform for a dialogue among the business community on trade and investment opportunities and contribute to further enhancing the bilateral relations on all levels. And I would like to show this small video which is not working. Yeah. Is it working? Excuse the interruption. Yes. Thank you.
Global perception of a nation's size and position would imply that growth is already in motion. But what if we could take that notion further, bigger, better, faster? We are mega on the map. Mega infrastructure, mega power, mega sustainability, mega industry. Not forgetting strategically being located in the center of everywhere, for everything and everyone. Mega connectivity, mega trade, mega markets, mega tourism with the minds and manpower to make your business multiply. Others have captured this wave and capitalized their business on Egypt's mega reform, mega empowerment. Our understanding of mega transformation is a whole new size of big mega investments. We are making Egypt global again.
So it is clear nowadays that MSMEs are essential to the world's economy and play a vital role in economic development, provides products and services as well as create value in an economy, drive industrialization, develop skills of managers and create wealth for nations, and above all, employ citizens of nations. Therefore, let me take the opportunity now to shed the light on the remarkable bilateral relations between Egypt and India. In this, I would say, statement, our exports in 2020 in $1 billion was $1.8 billion, as our imports, the Egyptian imports is $2.15 billion. And it's keeping on increasing up until 2023, which our exports was $1.5 billion, whereas the imports was $3.95 billion. And if anything, this highlights how strengthened and tied the relations, bilateral trade relations between Egypt and India. In terms of Egypt's main export to India, actually it was during 2021 up until 2023, were petroleum oil, petroleum gas, chemical fertilizers, and cotton. Whereas Egypt imports from India were actually meat, tobacco, manufactured tobacco, motor cars, and cotton yarns. Yet, there are more opportunities to be utilized in sectors such as agri-food, handicrafts, leather, textiles, chemicals, which is on the rise as we speak. In light of the agreement signed in order to upgrade bilateral relations to strategic partnership between Egypt and India during the state visit of His Excellency Prime Minister Narendra Modi in June 2023, the Consulate would like to explore the areas of cooperation and investment between India and Egypt, since Mumbai is the financial and, of course, the commercial capital of India as well as the business hub. There are various sectors that could be an area of cooperation and investment in Egypt, such as the energy sector, the automotive sector, the financing sector, including entrepreneurship and public and private partnership, PPP, or the triple Ps, the industrial exports sector, the investment sectors, including the Suez Canal zone, and the tourism, of course, sector. This is a slide that actually highlights or even summarizes Egypt's potential. So notwithstanding the fact that Egypt has a range of potential industrial investment opportunities, including but not limited to manufacturings of automotive tires, cotton yarns, polyester yarns, denim fabrics, as well as TV panel automotives, writing and printing papers, seamless pipes, as well as electrolytic sheets. In oil and gas industry, we actually have investment opportunities which are available in Al Alamein Petro Refinery Complex, the Red Sea Suez Canal Corridor Petro Refinery project as well. Additionally, there are various investment opportunities in 4 industrial zones in Egypt. First of all, Sokhna Integrated Zone, East Portside Integrated Zone, Qantara West Industrial Zone, and Ismailia East Industrial Zone, which is the Tech Valley. As well as we have 4 seaports, which is Sokhna Port, East Portside Port, West Portside Port, and Al-Adabiyya Port, which is situated on the western coast of Suez Gulf. More importantly, there are abundance of areas of investment in green energy industry, such as green hydrogen production, e-methanol production, green ammonia production as well. Such areas align with India's vision towards a clean environment, utilizing green and clean energy. For more information about investment opportunities in Egypt, please visit our website, investinegypt.gov.eg, which is actually launched by the General Authority for Investment and Free Zones, our Egyptian authority there. It's actually worth noting that the Egyptian government has adopted several procedures to encourage foreign investments. They are as follows: continuing its privatization efforts, undertaking business climate reforms, thus increasing foreign direct investments, generating private sector-led sustainable growth, setting flexible rate, as well as tightening its monetary policy. In regards to the Egyptian tax authority and the business community, a new approach has been actually developed towards treating taxpayers as essential partners. This approach aims at protecting taxpayer rights and supporting as well as assisting them in growing and expanding their investments, production, and development activities. It actually aligns with Egypt's commitment to empower the private sector and foster sustainable economic growth. Egypt is actually considered the hub for trade and investment opportunities since it is considered the portal to both Africa and Europe. This comparative advantage enables Cairo to incubate plethora of industrial sectors, which will be then distributed to different countries in Africa and Europe, and is actually happening. And in this regard, more than 52 Indian companies with investment over $4 billion in various industrial, trading, and service sectors are actually established in Egypt, such as Sanmar Group, Aditya Birla, Flex Films, and SL Group. And they're actually exporting from Egypt to different countries, whether in Europe or Africa. And it's actually a success story. And there are actually vast potentials to be targeted in order to achieve our aim of boosting the trade volume and the flow of investments between Egypt and India to reach approximately $8 billion in the near future. And that is through establishing an integrated trade and benefits for both countries in terms of employment, cost rationalization, technology transfer in various sectors. In regards to MSMEs, the Egyptian Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise Development Agency along with its mandate, has a strategic axis, it's actually important, which is supporting as well as empowering women economically and socially, as women represent half of society and play a major role in its development, training on some handicraft and heritage for the advancement of handicrafts and for the handicrafts and crafts as well, in addition to providing consultancy and marketing services for them. And there are a lot of, I would say, success stories in Aswan, which is actually dominating our market in all over Egypt, as well as some countries all over the world. Also, there is a great interest toward many industrial sectors that fall under the umbrella of the micro, small, and medium industry sectors, such as the leather sector, food industries, and especially the spinning, textiles, and ready-made garment sectors. For example, the volume of Egyptian exports to India from the textile sector valued almost $102 million in 2021, while exports to India from Egypt from the same sector in the same year valued approximately $28.5 million. And it should be noted that this sector is one of the main sectors that Egypt is supporting nowadays, and there is a full attention directed to it to keep its pace with the rules of sustainable development and in line with the green economy. In light of the above, I would like to add that Egypt has already success stories with India in the field of vocational training in the textile sectors in the governorates of Giza as well as Alexandria. And Egypt is still willing to continue this success with India through establishing a new vocational training center in the governorate of Fayoum in the textile sector, as was established before in Shobra al-Khema a few years ago. I'm also excited to announce that Egypt and India are represented in the Egyptian Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise Development Agency and the National Small and Medium Enterprise Corporation of India have signed a Memorandum of Understanding last December in Cairo, which is aiming at promoting MSMEs and capacity building of incubators, establishing businesses, as well as improving the commercial and technical cooperation between India and Egypt in the MSME sector. Such event occurred during the inauguration ceremony of Turathna Handicraft Exhibition, which is the largest exhibition in Egypt that is specialized in heritage products and handicrafts. It is a forum for creators, craftsmen, and artists from different countries all over the world to attend to and to actually showcase their products. And India last year was actually the guest country for the exhibition, and this actually marks the strong ties between the two states. Before I conclude my presentation, I would like to leave you with this video.
The instant your eyes fall on it, you see a great country, a generous country with its kind people, who, after years of patience and waiting, deserve the path of accomplishments in all fields. We have built thousands of kilometers of roads and bridges, lifelines of hope and life. Tunnels. Nile axes that form a new crossing for the dream. Integrated plans with which we have renewed the means of land transportation. Projects that have realized the civilizational transition in railways. We added new phases to the metro, and for the first time, we introduced the electric train and the monorail to deliver quality life for our people. We also developed marine transportation. Our Egyptian ports turned into pivotal international ports. We established a number of airports in Egypt's governorates. The Suez Canal is the world's gate for all global trade. We started with the digging of the new Suez Canal, and we continued the dream with the digging of the tunnels. The door was opened for hundreds of projects in the economic zone. We started a new era in the electricity field. We achieved self-sufficiency with new stations that have realized huge surplus for export. And in the field of clean energy, we invested in the establishment of wind power plants and the world's largest solar park in Bindan, Aswan. Made in Egypt is not just a slogan, but a dream that has been realized, where the well and technological advancement factories opened their doors in all fields with Egyptian hands. We established tens of industrial complexes, including Eruygur project, which leverages raw cotton, Egypt's reserve of white gold, an integrated industrial scale on an area of 203 fathoms that encompasses the first smart industrial Egyptian city with the highest international standards, which harnesses the Swiss, German, and Italian state-of-art technology in spinning and weaving, printing, and tanning. We achieved a safe industrial exploitation of our mineral wealth with the establishment of more integrated production facilities in the field of iron and steel. We succeeded to secure our local cement industries. We were able to fulfill the needs of the housing, construction, and once again, we rediscovered our quarry wealth, with which we were able to establish El Galala Treasure City for marble and granite, an industrial edifice that houses 13 factories with the state-of-art international techniques and advanced machines, with a total annual capacity of 30 million square meters. Egyptian hands extended to build the first industrial city for food products in line with international technological standards, Silo Food City, that includes 10 factories. A few years ago, we started looking for and exploring energy sources. We succeeded in discovering new oil and gas fields and turned Egypt into a regional hub for the exports of gas. We established many petrochemical plants to support industrial and agricultural activities, meet local demand, and export the surplus. We started projects for the development of water resources and irrigation by establishing a water treatment plant in Al-Mahsana that lifts 1,050,000 cubic meters per day to reclaim 50,000 fathoms east the Suez Canal. This is in addition to the construction of world's largest wastewater treatment plant, Bahr al-Bahr plant, that treats 5.6 million cubic meters per day of wastewater, reused to reclaim 456,000 fathoms. We implemented plans for agricultural reclamation in all governorates by expanding the National Greenhouse Project with a total of 100,000 fathoms of greenhouses that aims to produce high-quality agricultural crops. Agricultural projects were reclaimed to add more than 25% of the agricultural area in Egypt by reclaiming and cultivating about 2.5 million fathoms. In order to achieve the meaning of integration and benefit from our water resources, we continue our national project to purify and develop the largest lakes in Al-Manzala, Brulus, Itko, and Bardawil. Egypt has made its way to new horizons of fish protein by establishing a number of large fisheries projects in the Middle East, including Birket Ghalioun in Kafr al-Sheikh, Fayouz Project, Sharq al-Tafri'a, Port Said, El Diba Triangle, west of Port Said. By then, Egypt has become the top African country in the field of fisheries. Egypt continues its plans in food security by establishing competitive animal and dairy production edifices with international quality. Today, good has filled our country, and the doors have opened for Egypt to export high quality and competitive products. Here is Egypt, the land of serenity and residence. We bid farewell to the age of slums and built tens of thousands of alternative housing units. New cities and urban communities were established in all governorates, accommodating millions of people from all segments who dream of a better life for themselves and their children, the most important of which is the new administrative capital, Egypt's face of civilization with the birth of the new republic, a smart city that illustrates the meaning of harmony and integration. So is the House of Representatives, People's Square, Memorial, Business and Financial Area, Islamic Cultural Center, and because here in Egypt we are one fabric, we built the Cathedral of Nativity of Christ, the biggest cathedral in the Middle East. City of Arts and Culture. Besides residential areas, attracting millions of people. Galala City, the most attractive view of the Red Sea coast. New Alami, the jewel in the crown of the Mediterranean Sea. The new Ismailia, the pearl of the gatherings of east of the Suez Canal. The new Aswan, the charm of the south. We will continue to take care of the health of each person who lives in our country. And we will establish 10 of hospitals. We eliminated waiting lists of patients who were unable and implemented the National Comprehensive Health Insurance Project. And we were able to build the largest pharmaceutical drug manufacturing projects in the Middle East on an area of 180,000 square meters. Medicine City, which has succeeded in securing the local demand for safe and effective medicines, with international quality and export potential that befits Egypt's role as a promising regional and global production center. Here is the great country, the country that has the greatest history and civilization, that told the whole world civilization, the one that exists and decorates the most famous squares of world capitals. The Grand Egyptian Museum. Also, huge archaeological discoveries in partnership and global investments. Yes, here is a place like no other. A place where you can enjoy with all the people you love. People welcome you with love and greetings. Discover beaches, cities, high-quality hotels. Today, Egypt is opening its doors everywhere and in all fields for real success opportunities. We will complete our journey. We dream, run, and get ahead. Real development in all of our country is our goal. Here is Egypt, a place like no other.
I hope you enjoyed this video. And with that, before ending, I would like to say that we can have our own business opportunities, and you have about visiting Cairo. visiting Egypt and enjoy our very much famous dish of koshari, which is actually vegan, and you can enjoy having your business opportunities there. Thank you. And if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to contact the consulate, or we can have our the Q&As here. Thank you. Yes. Language?
If the Indians come or some other foreign countries people come, how do you solve the language issue in Egypt? Do you have many translators or? Yeah.
In terms of language issues, no. Most of the Egyptians, they actually speak English, so there is no any kind of language barrier. Thank you.
Hello. I would like to request Mr. Rajan Raje, Chairperson, Bombay Chamber MSME Forum, and CEO Nichem Solution to present a memento to Ms. Dina Albahey, Vice Consul, the Consulate of Egypt in Mumbai, as a token of appreciation.
Thank you. Just leave this here.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because I was there in 18 and I...
Hello. Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving forward, I would like to invite Mr. Viraj Kulkarni, Honorary Consul, Honorary Consulate of Republic of Cyprus in Mumbai, to please deliver the presentation.
After an interesting country, Mexico, a happy country, Finland, mega country, Egypt, come to the beautiful island country which is Cyprus. So I know it's, first of all, compliments to the Bombay Chamber of Commerce for the fourth annual edition of the MSME Conclave, and I've been happy to be associated with them on this initiative because this primarily promotes a lot of bilateral trade between the countries. So what I'll do is basically keep it crisp and just bring to speed on what's happening between the two countries. So Cyprus is a EU country which is in the Mediterranean region. So we have the embassy office, which is embassies in Delhi, but we do have two consulates, one in Mumbai, which is the Honorary Consulate operating out of the Ruby, the other. And then we have also the other one, which is at Kolkata. So two offices, embassy, three. And what we'll do is basically take you to okay. Yeah. So like I said, it's an island country. That's what you see on the left out there. The total population of the country is less than 1 million. And interestingly, the population is less than 1 million, but the number of tourists to that country is about 3 million. So take it versus, you can imagine how touristy that country is. And ever since we launched this office, relaunched the office of Cyprus in Mumbai in the last 3 months, believe me, a travel-trotting Indian is always looking for when can I get into Cyprus, how do I get into it? So we'll just walk you through that as well. The population, primarily Catholic, Greek Orthodox, and English speaking. The average median age is 38. This is one country you do not need to carry winter clothes. 340 days of sunshine in a year. So you can be travel light on your clothing. You can, and that's what it is. So we are a member of the EU, but also, members of World Bank, IMF. So this just gives you a flavor of what the country is. On the business side, the GDP numbers that you see, 2.5 this year is doing a run rate of 3.1, is the second fastest growing country in Europe now. And inflation rates have come down further. Unemployment, what you see is 2023 numbers, 2024 numbers are less than 5. The corporate rate of taxation is 12.5. Generally, the belief is that it's a tax haven, but frankly speaking, just to manage certain perceptions, Cyprus is one of the 136 IFCs in the world, International Financial Centers as they're called. So any IFC, including Gift City in India, primarily looks at promoting trade in a most beneficial way for the country. And that's why it's a decision of the country as to what works best. So the corporate rates, as you see, is it's 12.5. The time to start business is 1.3. It's a Commonwealth country. So in that sense, the Indian legal system or the Cypriot legal system is almost similar. So it's not easy, it's not tough to understand, because they're all based on the UK laws. The contribution of the GDP by sector, as you can see, services is large because Cyprus also is the hub in Europe for manufacturing structures. When I manufacturing structures, we're talking about foreign flows, outflows, and into multi-countries. So services becomes a very large sector. And in this services sector, we will have Indian footprints coming in a big way when technology sector also starts mapping in. So I'll talk about it a little later there. Mining, manufacturing, electricity, yes, but also another area for you to know is in the shipping industry, they have the highest registrations worldwide. So it's whenever any registration is required to be done, most of it gets into Cyprus. GDP is small at 31.3 billion, but a very aspirational country. A few years ago, probably a decade ago, if we were asking the same question, there was this belief in India that it was a country which was, bankrupt, did not have the money, went to the EU, and EU bailed them out. But from a situation of 2014, which was supposed to be a country which had gone into bankruptcy, today the per capita income of this country is 33,000 euros. Yeah? The 30,000 was last year, today it's doing 33,000 euros. It's amongst the top 20 countries in the world as far as per capita income is concerned. So very hard-working set of people there. Cyprus at a glance, as you can see, education is a key factor. Globally, FDI, it's quite big. Then it ranks 27th amongst the 133 countries with regard to innovation. Innovation research is picking up big time there. And a lot of effort and initiatives are working in the startup segment. I heard a question on the startup segment, so there's something happening big time, especially the gaming industry. And we will see more of India happening in the space also. I hope the space is good, right? Because I'm also mindful that maybe it's 5:15, 5:30, and we start thinking of the traffic outside also. But, because being a Mumbaiker, that also works in my mind. But no, I hope it's not too fast. Right? Little fast. It is? Okay, I'll slow down. Sorry. Anything you can always slow me down. Okay? Now, these are basically data points of how the relationship between the two countries have evolved. And we are taking the most latest one, which is 2023. We don't have the 24 details. So if I look at it, the three segments are the products, services, and FDI and FPI. So on the product side, if you look at the fourth bullet, the main exports from India, and this should be something of interest to the MSMEs out here, is organic chemicals, electric machinery equipments, pharmaceutical products have been the key areas of interest. Mind you, Cyprus is not only a consuming country, but also becomes a conduit for exports into Europe, and that is where a lot of initiatives are being done. The imports which have imports to India has been scrap, aluminum waste, and iron and steel, primarily the shipping industry, if you may talk about. The services segment, as you can see, is the larger segment than the product segment. So it's at 671 million. This is one which is growing faster, and we see more of it. We're hoping that it's going to get into a double digit soon. Foreign direct investments is key. Cyprus was amongst the top 10 countries from which investments came into India, and the total investments which came into India from Cyprus was about euro $2.1 billion. It's slid to the 12th position now, but that's where Cyprus, a tiny country as we may consider, is a great inflow country for India. Okay. There has been FDI into Cyprus and beyond, and that value is, as you can see, 154 million. So the three segments, if I call it, the three buckets are products, services, FPI, and FDI. The FPI is a foreign portfolio investment, so I'm not sure how many of you are aware of it. 61 countries, or investors from 61 countries, are invested in Indian capital markets, of which one of them is Cyprus. So Cyprus is one of the 3 countries which has a special privilege granted by the government of India, enabling Category 1 FPI, foreign portfolio investor, to come without any restrictions which apply to other countries. So Category 1 FPI, the 3 exception countries are India, Cyprus, UAE, and Mauritius. So there's a special benefit, and this allows Category 1 FPIs, the large institutions, to come without being FATF compliant. So it's a money which is a very big plus factor for any foreign portfolio investor coming into the country. Soon we will hear a very big announcement in this space between India and Cyprus. I'll briefly touch about it, but just to let you know that there are more investments in this. So how it's good to have the numbers, but then how do you make the numbers go to the next level? Like I said, this whole relationship kicked in last September when the Honorary Consulate Office of Cyprus in Mumbai, we restarted it. So the first thing was, how do you enable trade? How do you get trade happening? How do you get visibility? How do you get recognitions happening? So to start with, 2 years ago, the President of India was the first president to visit Cyprus, first Indian president to visit Cyprus in the last 65 years of relationship with the country. And thereafter, last year, our Honorable Foreign Minister, Mr. Jaishankar, was the second dignitary from India to go and visit Cyprus. These are milestone moments in the India-Cyprus relationship. It also speaks volumes of the government's commitment to see, make efforts to the relationship. Interestingly, last year, the first Mediterranean conference was hosted at the instant of the Ministry of External Affairs by CII, and the partner country from the Mediterranean region was Cyprus. So we had the Deputy Minister of Innovation, Deputy Prime Minister coming in, and a lot of interaction between the two countries as to how this relationship can be taken to the next level was initiated by the government of India, and with close collaborations with Cyprus. So that was the starting point of the thing. However, just to take a couple of steps back, the relationship between India and Cyprus started way back in 64. In fact, if you happen to visit, and I urge you to visit Cyprus, I couldn't show you those beautiful videos we have on Cyprus as well. Mahatma Gandhi ji's statue is at the Parliament of Cyprus up there. So you cannot miss his statue if you have to enter that building. The second important one is General Thimaya, who was one of those very famous army generals of the country, was part of the Indian peacekeeping force stationed in Cyprus, and because of his duty that he or role that he played, today a road in Cyprus is named after him, and every year his anniversary, and well, he died there, but every year the Cypriots come to his memorial and sort of pay their respects. So it goes back to that level of engagement. Multiple business initiatives supported by the High Commissioner of Republic of Cyprus in India. Last week, Indian movie got screened free of cost. The Mahakumbh Mela inputs were shared with the Cypriots. Just early this week, I was on a call arranged by the High Commissioner, in fact, of India in Cyprus to promote trade between the two countries with respect to coffee. The Coffee Board of India was on the call because Cypriots, 99% of the population drinks at least 4 cups of coffee every day. Okay, and this is mostly the filter coffee that we are more known, but it made the Turkish Cypriot way. So there is a possibility for more trade to happen between these two countries. In fact, India exported 7 tons of coffee indirectly through other markets into Cyprus. Now the plan is, can this be taken to a 3x growth? Okay. Similarly, the High Commissioner of Republic of Cyprus in India is engaged into a number of initiatives which primarily leads to promotion of more trade and trade between the two countries. India and Cyprus have 2 nodal bodies for promoting trade, which is the Invest India, which is the nodal body for the foreign direct investments, and there's Invest Cyprus, which is doing similar things. There's a MOU between both these countries to promote trade, and now we're looking at doing much more in that direction. Focus areas from the Honorary Consulate of Cyprus's areas this year is going to be promote trade and commerce, business, tourism. Now tourism is medical tourism, Bollywood, weddings, tourism as in tourism. So these will start unfolding in the next few weeks. We are looking at even flights, direct flights into Cyprus, which is right now not existent. But the ease of travel into Cyprus has also been significantly improved from a visa which used to take something like 3 months down to 10 days. And if we have a way, probably e-visa soon. So, and it's a stunningly beautiful country, I can tell you this. Capital markets, so just as you heard of Nifty, those who are from the capital markets, you must have heard of Nifty and, SGX Nifty. We will soon have one in Europe, which primarily means Indian capital market will be traded or more visible in Europe through Cyprus, which primarily feeds into the Gift City project of PM Modi. And this is already at a stage where the NDAs have been signed, the MOUs will happen, the trading should start soon. So this will be the first country in the world, apart from Singapore, which will be positioning the Indian equity market. Okay, this is something that's coming up soon. Initiatives with the government of Maharashtra, especially MSME segment. Cyprus, incidentally, has mostly MSMEs. So we recognize the fact that Maharashtra, at $600 billion of GDP, accounts for almost 1/7 of the country's GDP and is very critical. So there have been a number of engagements or discussions with various divisions of government of Maharashtra across cultural, across MSMEs, to see how collaborations between the two countries can be, and more importantly, between Maharashtra and Cyprus can go to the next level. We have started discussions with the new government which has come in place, and there is a very positive vibe, previous as well as the new one. Increased ease in travel to Cyprus. Like I said, travel to Cyprus doesn't need warm clothes to be carried. It's a warm climate. think of beaches, think of 340 days of sunshine, think of the holiday coming up, and winter there, you just wear a sweater. Today is like 13, 14 degrees, just wear that, and that's great. So that is one. Second is the travel part of it. Third is we're also looking at UPI to be brought into Cyprus. So that possibility is very big. So this is based more on the state sector, but coming under the private sector, the Bombay Chamber of Commerce, which as you know is the oldest Chamber of Commerce of India, has a MOU with the Cyprus Chamber of Commerce, which primarily means 3,800 members of Bombay Chamber of Commerce will now have access to Cyprus through Bombay Chamber of Commerce, various committees or various activities, and into Cyprus Chamber of Commerce, which has about 600 members on the other side. So this was just signed a couple of months ago, was party to it, and this was supported by the government. The diplomats from both the countries were part of the whole signing thing. And I would urge you especially to look at this because it's MSME country, it is Commonwealth countries, it is India-centric, there's a lot of government play also between them. Besides this, there are two other chambers of commerce with which such an activity is going to be done, which is IMC, CI, those are under discussion. We also have the Larnaca Chamber of Commerce and the Bangalore Chamber of Commerce have a MOU. Larnaca is pretty famous for the startup and the IT sector. So this is, and the gaming industry of Europe is actually based out of this place. So, and then the Limassol Chamber of Commerce is like the Mumbai of Cyprus. Okay, so Limassol is where the businesses happen, the shipping industry, so the Goa Chamber of Commerce and Limassol. So if you see that, there are multiple hooks into different things because it's important to have on-ground people who can represent the interest or speak about it. The focus is also on the sphere of technology and collaborations between India and Cyprus. There is a discussion going on how to have more IT enablement happening between the two countries, especially how the IT industry from India can move in to support. We have seen some amazing stories happen in Europe, especially Poland, which relaxed a certain regulation for the IT industry, and which led to Poland becoming one of the very interesting hubs for Europe on IT-related development or centers of excellence. We are in the process of seeing this development happening soon with regard to Cyprus as well. The climatic conditions, I said, is similar, so to a large extent, and a lot of Indian vegetarian food is available. Okay, I'm a vegetarian, so the first thing I look out for is, is there a place? Believe me, great food, and I love the food in Egypt also. So, and a lot of things, and you would also, if you're into cheese, the world's best halloumi cheese comes out of Cyprus. Okay. So you'll be on safe place, safe grounds there. People are very hospitable. People are nice. So all family culture, everything is similar. We have a very interesting set of, Chamber of Commerce out there. I happened to meet with this Women Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, ladies who are into IT, who are into funds, who are structuring investment banking. And they make it a point to see that they promote the India-Cyprus relationship. In fact, the head of one of these bodies is going to be in India soon, and they're looking at what can we do more between the countries. So if you look at it, it's not just the government driving, not just the Chamber of Commerce, but even, at people level that it's happening. Then there's the Cyprus-India Business Association. There are two great publications, Cyprus Profiler and the IMH. So the data that you saw up there was Cyprus Profiler. So Cyprus Profiler and IMH puts out Indian news and Indian stories in those markets. And that pumps out to the rest of the world. So to a large extent, the familiarity of visibility is not just restricted to the Ambani family. So last September I was in Cyprus, and everybody remembered the great Indian wedding. They said, "Oh, that big wedding which happened in India, the Indian wedding that happened in India." So that was the first sort of big story about India that they saw. On the other side was around the same time, a movie made by a lady, Cypriot lady, got released. That was the first Cypriot movie, and the maximum number of people who watched that on Netflix were Indians. So, the Cypriots were surprised that the number of people who watched the movie, because Netflix gave the data from which country the maximum number of people watched, they were Indians. They had to be told that we Indians love our movies, and we love other movies as well. So there is a nice sort of, interplay happening between these two countries. The IMH is the business magazine out there, so a lot of news about India gets carried out there. So visibility creation became a very strong point from a country perspective. Now, just the usual sell points of advantage of a country, member state of European Union, I don't need to really work. FATF is more about money laundering, because it's a FATF compliant money wall countries, so which basically means all good money flows through this place. Geostrategic, 340 days sunshine, 3.5 hours direct flight as and when it happens. And Cyprus-based funds, so everything that I just said is covered out here. And finally, we are in a neighborhood, just 10 minutes from here, Ruby. That's where the office is. And you can reach us. We also have a very active LinkedIn page where we post a lot of things, including videos. So welcome to Cyprus. I'm happy to take questions. I know, if I can do now, or you can do it even afterwards. So, thank you.
Please be on the base. Hello. I would like to request Mr. R. Srinivasan, Co-Chairperson, Bombay Chamber MSME Forum, and Director, IRA Consulting, to please present a memento to Mr. Viraj Kulkarni, Honorary Consul, Honorary Consulate of Republic of Cyprus in Mumbai, as a token of appreciation. Thank you, sir. As we reach the end of the session, I invite Mr. Rajan Raje, Chairperson, MSME Forum, Bombay Chamber, and CEO, Nichem Solution, to kindly deliver the closing remarks and vote of thanks.
Thank you, Utkarsh. I am indeed privileged to perform the pleasant task of proposing the vote of thanks at the MSME Conclave 25. On behalf of Bombay Chamber of Commerce and my personal behalf, I extend sincere thanks to all the esteemed speakers for sparing their valuable time and for contribution in delivering their presentations. Your expertise and perspectives have enriched our discussions tremendously. The presentation on finance for exports, Mr. C.S. Arya, Mr. Shirish Mathur, Mr. Dhrubashish Bhattacharya, Mr. Rahul Mukhopadhyay, and Mr. Vikas Kumar. On bilateral trade growth, advancing US-India trade and investment potential, Mr. Zhou Yang, US Commercial Service, United States Consulate in Mumbai. Then bilateral trade opportunities and MSMEs, His Excellency Mr. Adolfo Garcia, Estrada, Consul General, Consulate of Mexico in Mumbai. Ms. Eva Nilsson, Deputy Consul General, Consulate General of Finland in Mumbai. Mr. Dina Albahey, Vice Consul, the Consul General of Egypt in Mumbai. And Viraj Kulkarni, Honorary Consul, Honorary Consulate of Republic of Cyprus in Mumbai. I would also like to extend our gratitude to our sponsors for their regular and steadfast support. Our co-sponsors, Aditya Birla Finance Limited, Ashwin Sheth, and Bank of Baroda. Associate sponsor, Axis Mutual Fund and SBI Mutual Fund. This conclave wouldn't have been possible without the strong support and the guidance of Bombay Chamber of MSME Committee members. I would also like to acknowledge the tireless efforts of Bombay Chamber Secretariat. They have been always excellent. A special thanks to Mr. Sandeep Khosla, Director General, for his unwavering support and guidance, which has been pivotal in organizing this event. And I would also thank his deputy, Sunil Nair, who has not mentioned his name because he always prefers to be behind the screen and works tirelessly in making all the events very successful and interesting. Additionally, I extend my heartfelt thanks to the entire Secretariat team for their dedication and hard work in making this event a successful success. Last but not the least, to the distinguished audience, all of you, thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule and attend and participate in this conclave. Your presence and engagements have added immense value to this conclave because, see, Bombay Chamber will always organize the events because we are hand-holding chamber for all our members, MSME, agriculture, and banking, whatever. But unless the members show interest and they believe that we are adding the value, all these programs are going to be meaningless. So thank you very much for trusting us. As we conclude, I look forward to many more engaging and impactful events in the near future. Thank you once again for joining, and I wish all of you a continued success in your endeavor. And please feel free to give the feedback on what the chamber should do for you, the committees should do for you, because it shouldn't happen that we organize the programs as we feel fit. The programs are organized for your benefit. So if you believe that we should improve or we should add any new dimension, any new subjects which will help you, please do that. Please visit our website. Please visit our secretariat and express yourselves. And be our valued members always. Thank you very much.